What's up, Taiwan? I'm Louise Watt. Thank you for joining us this evening. Workers have set off on a 3-week march from Taiwan's south to the capital in the north. They're demanding better labour policies. As elections approach, they're urging presidential candidates to share their labour policy platforms. They have 7 demands, including bigger pension payouts, protections for firefighters' safety, and more labour insurance. Gaza's health ministry has reported more than 180 deaths from Israeli strikes since a truce between Israel and Hamas ended. Israeli forces warned residents in a city in the southern Gaza Strip to evacuate before they struck 200 alleged terror targets. These were areas Israel previously said would be safe from fighting. Nearly all of Gaza's population of 2 million is now cornered in the enclave's south, with little access to aid.
We appeal to the parties not to resort to further military action that can only make the already catastrophic humanitarian situation in Gaza worse and to spare civilians from more suffering.
Taiwan and the Czech Republic are to help Ukraine rebuild its healthcare sector. The two countries have already worked together to restore Ukraine's energy sector and its water management systems. Taiwan's Deputy Foreign Minister says this new agreement is an example of democratic nations standing together.
Security in the Indo-Pacific cannot be separated from European security. Defending Ukraine is crucial to counter authoritarian expansionism and to deter China.
A parenting website in Taiwan has honoured dozens of companies for being family-friendly. As Tiffany Wong reports, it's part of a move to encourage workplaces to accommodate parents, something that could be key to boosting Taiwan's low birth rate.
Juggling the cost of daycare services with growing work obligations. It's a major concern among Taiwanese people who are thinking about parenthood, and is part of the reason why the country's birth rate is one of the lowest in the world. But some businesses are trying to ease those worries. A parenting website has singled out 26 companies, including Acer, Nestle, and Merck, giving them an award for creating family-friendly workplaces. The awards are given out based on benefits like childcare subsidies, maternity leave, and daycare services. Mr. Ho, an IT worker in his 30s, said these perks were a big help for him as a working parent.
外面那时候大概survey过，其实行情大概就是18000到2万。对，那其实公司的部分来说，像我自己来说，扣掉就是政府补助以外，我摊提每个月平均大概就付5000多块而已。
The website found that a family-friendly workplace is one of the main things young couples consider before having kids. A human resources representative at Mr. Ho's company said the idea has been easing the burden of raising children, which is why they provide childcare services for employees.
有一些呼吸侦测器啦，然后像我们会用这个什么无毒有机的食材啦等等，我想他们在小朋友这边送托就会非常的安心。
Employees at the award-winning companies had over 5,000 kids in 2022, equivalent to a third of the newborns in Taipei that year, and they got over $3 million in company subsidies. And the benefits could go both ways. Employers are hoping their family-friendly workplaces will also help them retain talent, growing their companies and Taiwan's population. Chris Ma and Tiffany Wong for TaiwanPlus.
Taipei is now Asia's 12th most expensive city. That's according to the latest worldwide cost of living index from the Economist Intelligence Unit. Though its prices have been on the rise, Taiwan is still more affordable than many of its neighbours. Globally, the average cost of living rose 7.4%. That's slightly lower than last year, but notably higher than usual. Experts say higher living costs will continue into the next year. Taiwan is looking to tackle its high rate of deadly traffic accidents with a new law. The Road Traffic Safety Basic Act aims to toughen up safety regulations and improve training for drivers. Western media have called Taiwan a pedestrian hell. Around 3,000 people die on the country's roads each year. But officials have now set a goal of 0 traffic deaths by 2050. Taiwan's pedestrian hell is only made worse by drunk driving, which accounts for a large portion of traffic deaths. Harel Hughes brings us the story of one victim whose family is still waiting for justice.
A holiday nightmare. 2 years ago, the Lin family was attending a Christmas festival in southern Taiwan. While they were crossing the road, a drunk driver slammed into them, killing one and sending 3 others to the hospital. Now, as holiday lights go up for the second year since the crash, the family is still waiting for compensation.
我每次到了圣诞节，我都很感伤，知道。
A court ordered the driver to pay the family over $1 million in compensation. But as the driver's house forecloses and claims of debt add up, the Lin family is losing hope they will ever get the money they were promised.
这个月12月26号就届满2年，不是因为这样子我们就可以获得赔偿了，没有。我在司法方面已经花费超过100万，到现在得不到任何赔偿。
The family has gone through 3 criminal and 6 civil courts. They are exhausted. A local safe driving NGO says the story is a familiar one. It's rare for victims it helps to get compensation. The organization is calling on the government to pay special attention to victims of drunk driving.
强制责任险，1条人命死亡代偿金提高为500万，设立一个统一窗口，来服务酒驾重大伤亡的案例。
But for now, flaws in the system remain. And with the holiday season approaching, the Lin family is faced with the reality that even after years of fighting, justice is still out of reach. Klein Wong and Harel Hughes for TaiwanPlus.
In response to the COVID-19 pandemic, scientists in Taiwan developed a traditional medicine to combat the virus. As Laurel Stewart now reports, they say now it's effective against other cold and flu strains.
这是那个清冠1号。
Traditional Chinese medicine made here in Taiwan. Called NRICM 101, this formula was created during the pandemic to treat COVID-19. And it's since been used around the world to combat the disease. Now scientists say tests show it's effective against different types of flu as well, and it can also help battle bacterial infections.
这些外来的病原进到身体以后，身体启动的免疫反应呢，都是通过类似的作用机制啊。以前我们把细菌跟病毒分得很清楚，细菌要用抗菌药、抗生素，病毒要用抗病毒药。清冠1号、2号呢，都可以在这些发炎的机制上去把它抑制。
The medicine's formula is a multi-target treatment made up of 10 different plants. It was originally made to stop the COVID-19 virus entering the body's cells. If the virus happens to get into the cell, the medicine prevents them from multiplying and also keeps the immune system from attacking itself. And now, if the medicine is used against regular cold and flu, scientists say it won't cause the viral and bacterial strains to become drug resistant.
因为多靶点，所以比较不会去担心抗药性的这些病毒株的反应。因为它们是单一靶点的一个治疗，所以其实会有一点不同。
As winter arrives in Taiwan and cold and flu start to circulate, the drug's creators hope it will let the public breathe a little easier. John Su and Laurel Stewart for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan is holding its first Design Week in Taipei. The event is held around the world and aims to showcase distinctive local designs. Eugene Huang has the story.
30 seconds of songs from Mexico, paired with these themes. They're showcasing Mexican designs with Taiwan in mind. These installations are a part of Taiwan's first Design Week. The expo is held in cities around the world to highlight the works of local designers. And it's also an opportunity for exchanges between host countries and global designers. This time, 5 countries answered Taiwan's open call.
我觉得很重要的应该是说，台湾的设计力在国际上能够被看见，而不只是一直在对内做出一个输出。
More than 50 teams are showcasing local designs, such as these mechanical flowers, inspired by a type of flower that only grows in the extreme climes of Nanhu Mountain on Taiwan's east coast. It's seen as a symbol of the country's resilience. Materials frequently used here in Taiwan are also on display, including some that can't be found in other parts of the world. The east of Taiwan is rich in this mineral, serpentine, and it's often used to make vintage-style furniture. And most of these works are made by teams of fewer than 9 people.
在小编制的团队里面，每一个 founder 都可以贯彻自己的 spirit、自己的意念，然后做出很多不一样的，除了自己的核心的业务以外，做非常多 crossover， 然后做很多实验性的尝试。
Countries can only become members of World Design Weeks after they've held their own design week for 3 years in a row. As this is Taiwan's first year, organizers hope they can keep up the momentum to officially join the international design community. Devon Tsai and Eugene Huang for TaiwanPlus.
While Taiwan and the United States share a mutual love for baseball, there are differences in the way fans celebrate it. Taiwan recently got a taste of a US ballpark tradition, organs. Leslie Liao has the story.
Taiwan made sports headlines in March when the world got to see its hyped-up, over-the-top, fan-driven baseball experience during the World Baseball Classic. So impressive was Taiwan's stadium atmosphere that the country exported it. Taiwanese baseball cheerleaders toured the U.S., putting on shows at games in California and New York. But baseball exchanges between Taiwan and the U.S. are not a one-way street. The Taipei Dome recently held its debut baseball game, and if you were there, you might have heard some distinctly American baseball sounds. American baseball stadiums often feature organs to help get fans hyped up. Though rare, this type of baseball music has crept into Taiwan stadiums. The person bringing it here is Richard Wong, or Boston as he likes to be called. Boston is a baseball consultant, commentator, and now a stadium musician.
I've been living in the States for about a decade, so I've been to so many Major League Baseball games, and of course, in each stadium there's an organist there. It's a very special feature of the stadium, but in Taiwan it's another style. You don't really see.
Boston realizes that things in Taiwan are done a little differently.
They have the electronic music, they have the trumpet, they have the drums, and they have the whole set, but no, you just don't see the organist.
Boston consulted for the Taipei Dome, and he figured it was a good time to introduce a piece of American baseball culture to Taiwanese fans.
And been involving with the Dome for so many years, and just figured that it's a very good timing for me to bring it to try to play a few different music.
And though it's an unfamiliar concept in Taiwan, fans here seem to know what to do during Boston's performances. For Boston, baseball is not just a sport. It's a way to bring countries and cultures closer together. And to him, Taiwan's game is already quite international. His performances are just one more drop in the melting pot.
Some of the Japanese elements, some of the US elements, and especially the cheerleading thing is most likely the Korean elements coming, so it's good. Baseball is a universal language, and we bring everything together.
Though the world's largest ocean sits between Taiwan and the United States, a shared love for baseball and appreciation for each other's sporting culture is bringing the two countries closer together. Patrick Sun and Leslie Liao for TaiwanPlus.
And sticking with baseball, the sport's home run king is in Taiwan. O Sadaharu hit 868 home runs over his 2-decade career in the Japanese league. Though O is now 84, this world record is still unbroken. O is in Taiwan to attend the opening of the Asian Baseball Championships. He threw the ceremonial first pitch. O says this visit to Taiwan will be his last overseas trip. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Finally, have a look at this gingerbread city on display in London. I'm Louise Watt. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.